My wife kissed another man on a night out. Bit of context, my wife and I have been together since we were 18. Never had a great sex life after the first year. Maybe once or twice a year at most since then, but at the minute it's going on 3 years. And although it bothers me, I love her and I love our kids, so I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. I know plenty of friends in the same situation. Another bit of context is that I've always been mildly overweight, but always fit as I played a lot of sports until about 10 years ago when I got really ill, and a mixture of meds and comfort eating made me balloon up to nearly 300 pounds. Well, 2 years ago, I decided to do something about it. I'm now around 200, which at 6'2" is the lightest I've been as an adult, and I've actually enjoyed using weights, and for the first time in my life, have a bit of abs and some muscle. Good for you. That's hard work. Good for you. My wife, having always been far hotter, is pretty obviously insecure about the fact that for the first time we've been together, women are starting to look at me and message me on my baking pages on social media. For the record, I've never even looked at another woman in that way. On to the night in question. My wife went out with some friends, a mix of singles and in a relationship. She looks stunning and I told her so. I even updated my phone home screen to that picture of her, lol. That's so cute. One of the friends she was out with messaged me and the gist was she knows I get no sex, my wife doesn't realize how lucky she is, and basically, do I want to hook up? I obviously instantly take a screenshot and send it to my wife. Yeah. Around 4 a.m., my wife gets home and she wakes me up as she gets into bed. I'm half awake but can tell something is wrong and ask what the matter is. She doesn't say anything for a few seconds, and as I go to grab her hand, she pulls away. I ask if she wants me to get her a drink and she says no. Then she just blurts it out and says, I met a guy tonight, he kissed me. I didn't kiss back at first, then I did. Then for the next half hour, we were dancing and constantly kissing. I mean, appreciate the honesty, I guess. She kept saying sorry and begging me not to leave her. My honest first reaction was, so what? It's only kissing and dancing. I didn't say that, I just hugged her and tried to calm her down. An hour or so later, once I got the right words in my head, I said, I know you feel really guilty, but please don't. I'm not going to leave you and break up our family over some kissing and dancing. And I don't love you any less than I did yesterday, and this isn't something that's going to grow and cause resentment. Okay, well, you're better than I am because I would not be okay with that. More or less right on cue, my phone goes off and it's that friend of hers with a picture and a video of what my wife was doing. Okay, this friend is not a friend. This friend sucks. This set my wife off again, but my feelings still haven't changed, and a month later, that remains the case. Y'all, are you gonna be pissed at this? Like, am I crazy for having an issue with this? In that month since then, my wife has accused me of not loving her because I didn't care. She's accused me of kissing other people and more, which is why I didn't care as I was covering up my own indiscretions. And she's accused me of being gay multiple times, which doesn't make any sense. Huh? She keeps asking me why I haven't initiated anything with her, even though in the past she told me that she hates being touched and not to even try it with her, which I have respected. She's basically projecting and it's annoying me as it's putting a strain on us, which she is 100% causing. I'm confused. Like, do you guys even kiss and make out? Like, how is she doing that with someone else and not her husband? How do I get through to her that she needs to stop feeling guilty and just move on, because I have, and it's not a big deal. I was genuinely more annoyed when she broke my baking bowl and tried to blame it on the cat. Wow. Edit. Hi all, just wanted to say thank you all so much for taking the time to respond to me. I really do appreciate it, and I'm overwhelmed you all took the time. I keep getting asked a few questions, so thought I'd address them here. Over the years, we have been to a few different couples counselors and sex therapists, the latest being last September for both. My wife always feels like she's being victimized by them, and we stop going. Nearly all have said, though, that they think she's asexual, and two even saying she is displaying a lot of signs of being a closeted lesbian, which I've brought up to her before, and she's adamant that she's not. On that note, I've had a lot of messages saying she wants to feel wanted and for me to be more forward with her. This is not true. In all our sessions, she said she doesn't want me trying it on her. She doesn't even want me to initiate hugs, and just bringing up sex makes her feel under pressure. She let me and our therapist know that if she ever wanted sex without her initiating, it would be no more than pity sex. I'm very confused by this. Not me or my body, so I cannot judge, but I'm not understanding, because she made out with another guy all night. So obviously there was like some sexual lusting going on there. As for people saying I don't love her, I buy her flowers every Friday on the way home from work. I bake her favorite cookies and cupcakes every weekend. I send her voice notes of songs I'm listening to that remind me of her. I tell her I love her every day. I run her bath every night. This isn't me showing off. This is just how I was brought up to show love for those saying I must have been brought up in an unloving home. People have said that I don't get jealous that I don't love her. If she told me she was having an emotional affair, she spent hours on the phone with someone else laughing and joking, she snuggled on a sofa eating chocolates and watching TV with someone, etc., I'd be devastated. A dance and a kiss isn't a big deal to me and not even close to divorce. Thank you all for reading. Second edit. Sorry for these. It's 7 a.m. in the morning here now, the day after I posted this. Been talking to my wife since 6 and said she's got a week to agree to go back to couples counseling, and she's got to stick it out this time and not just accuse them of taking sides and refuse to go back. She said no. She said they all bully her and make her out to be the bad guy. She said I went back on my word that I would forgive her and won't resent her. I said this isn't about the kiss, it's about her reaction since the kiss, that it feels like she's purposely trying to drive me away and make me leave her. She's just got up and stormed out of the room. She then got dressed and said she's going out until I go to work. Sounds like counseling is probably in everyone's best interest here. We have all the updates, but I need a sip of water, so you should have one as well. Grab your beverage of choice. It's hydration station time. Cheers. I'm very sniffly. I've had a cold. I haven't been sick for like over 2 months, and I thought like, oh, you know, and then the holidays came. Update 1. It's been nearly 2 weeks since I made the post, and the short update is that we are getting divorced. What the hell happened in 2 weeks? I said in my last post, I told her I wanted us to go back to couples counseling and sex therapy. She said no to both as we went before, and she felt bullied. She said at sex therapy that unless she initiates touching, not just sex, any touching like hugs or hand-holding, it will be against her will and will be forced/pity affection from her. The sex therapist said that's very unreasonable, and that's why she felt bullied there. I tried to ask her a few questions too. Are you a lesbian or at least bisexual? Don't be stupid. Are you asexual? I'm not a teenager with a stupid label. What did he have that I don't? Nothing. I just wanted to do it. Why don't you ever want to do that with me? Don't know. What can I do to make you want to do that with me? Don't know. Do you want me to take the initiative and try it on with you more? F no. I'll tell you when I want it. Don't guess. Okay. So she refused the therapy and gave me no straight answers. She has also said I've gone back on my word about not letting the kiss split us up because now it is. I said it's not the kiss, it's your behavior since then that has caused me to want a divorce. She says as it's my decision to divorce and it's all my fault, then I should be the one to tell our kids and she will have no part of it. That was hard. As soon as they were told, my wife left for her sisters, and in the 3 days since, I haven't heard anything from her. I've tried speaking to her about the kids as they miss her, but she reads my messages and ignores me. Something's going on here. Something deeper is going on here, I'm calling it now. A lot of people asked about the friend and why they still talk after she tried it on with me. How I understand it is my wife tried to get the friend group to cut the friend out, but they all pretty much refused, and so my wife just chose to ignore her in those group settings. On the night in question, the friend approached my wife and told her if she didn't tell me that she would send the video. Oh. So my wife didn't tell me because she felt guilty, but because she was forced to. I've also spoken to a couple of other friends in the group and asked what's been going on that I'm not privy to. Apparently my wife was sexting her friend's boyfriend a couple of years ago. I knew there was more. I knew there was more. My wife has also been boasting about how she has me under the thumb and she gets away with giving me nothing and I'm too scared to ask. The friend apparently saw me out shopping one day and decided I was now more doable if you know what I mean, and thought she'd try and exact some revenge on my wife. So she didn't really want me. I was just a pawn in this weird friend group, one of many internal beefs with each other, which I found out about in the last few days. Basically, they all seem to hate each other and just mess with each other's partners. Sounds very healthy. I'll be honest now, and I feel incredibly guilty about it, but when she left, my body and soul seemed to make a massive sigh of relief. It was like a black cloud that was dripping eggshells on the floor for me to constantly avoid. I feel terrible for feeling this way, but I feel like I'm 6'2" height now, rather than a browbeaten 3-foot who is scared to even say anything for fear of being told I'm wrong or insulted or ridiculed. It's like the blinkers have been taken off. Spent the day today baking with my kids, eating Easter eggs and watching cartoons, and I haven't stopped smiling all day. I haven't winced or broke out in a sweat worrying I'm about to be told off about being too nosy or watching the wrong thing on TV or there's a wrapper on the floor, etc. Thank you everyone for your support on my last post. I appreciate you all. When you're that relieved when you decide to have a divorce, I think you're making the right decision. Update number 2. Sorry for updating here. I'm only allowed to make one update on RA. After my last update, a lot of people commented and messaged me to say that I am sure my kids are mine. Oh, people are suspecting she's been cheating. This thought never entered my head until I read what people said. Last Thursday, I ordered a paternity test, sent it Friday, and I'm now awaiting the results. At this point, I don't really care. It won't change my love for them, but I'm terrified if they come back as not biologically mine, I'll lose them. I discussed this with my lawyer last week, who said if they aren't mine, it will be much, much harder to get even any kind of custody. I told them if it comes to that, then I'll keep fighting until the end. Blood or not, they are my boys. I mean, a lot of people suspect that if she's not getting the intimacy at home, which she could be, that she's getting it elsewhere. Just a common pattern that we see with cheaters. Speaking of the boys, my soon-to-be ex has seen them a couple of times with her mom, who is genuinely a nice person, and the kids have been fine. I can't say the same about my baking equipment though. She came into the house on Friday last week when she knew I was out and took a lot of it and purposely broke some bits she knew had sentimental value to me that came from my grandma and my mom. Why? I can't prove she did anything, and she brought the stuff back on Sunday and said she just borrowed the items, but I love baking and she is slowly ruining it for me. I already deleted my Instagram page because she was insecure about the women who followed me, and this time she must have remembered I was making a cake for my niece's birthday and tried to sabotage it. I've made notes and screenshots of everything. She cares if women give you attention online, but she's out here making out with other men. I'll be damned. As a lot of you rightly predicted, she had also been cheating on me a lot. Okay, although no evidence of it being physical yet from what I can tell. Her friend, who's also in this WhatsApp group where women basically just post nudes and men comment. I still need to get the details of this group so I can finally get to see some boobs again. LOL. Sent me a lot more screenshots of photos she's taken all around our house, blatantly her bedroom in some of them, and one even stood against my car. Also, a few of these friends are single, and when they hook up with someone, my wife will add the guy on Facebook and has basically been offering herself to them, but not to you. Oh my God. One of the friends messaged one of the guys who still had the chats in his Facebook DMs and sent the friend a load of screenshots to send to me. All in all, I must have over 100 screenshots of stuff she's been saying and sending to people, and all of that is within the last couple of years, so it probably goes on further. That's why you haven't had sex in a few years. As for the divorce, it's still in the early stages. One day I want to fight. The next, I just want to give her everything, materially, not the kids, and walk away and start again so I can just get this finished and done. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer. It's nearly midnight here, but I'll try to stay up. Get some rest, man. This is a lot. I need rest. Update number 3. I've moved back to my hometown and given my ex the house. Whoa, making big moves here. I know people won't be happy with that, but I just wanted a clean break and no ties to her or that city. The kids are with me and see their mom at weekends, provided I make the 5-hour round trip to drop them off on Saturday morning and then make the same trip Sunday afternoon to pick them up. Can she not drive? I know, again, people will say I'm doing what she wants, but if it makes kids happy, it makes me happy. She seems okay with this arrangement, although she's flaked twice already. Once the kids say they no longer want to go, I won't take them. The divorce is still going through, but won't be done for a few more months, yet according to my lawyer. I'm baking a lot more now and loving it. Thank you to everyone who has thought about me. You are all so great. But are the kids yours? We need those results. Maybe I'm just assuming because he hasn't mentioned that they aren't, that they are and proved to be his children. I'm gonna assume that unless we get, a notification otherwise. Next update, this was 1.5 months later than the last post. My ex-wife said it was too far for her to travel to have them at weekends, so every Saturday morning I've been driving them up to her and then picking them up Sunday evening so they got to see their mom. We'd make fun trips out of it and would take snacks, play audiobooks, have sing-alongs, etc. But I noticed they always seemed happier to be picked up than taken there. I just always assumed it was because all of their stuff and all their main home was with me. My ex has started to cancel these weekends a bit recently. 3 of the last 5 she's canceled. She started to say things like, they don't like me anyway, and you've poisoned them. Which is not true. I have never said a bad thing about their mom to them or in front of them and never would. Plus, I make 2 4-hour round trips every weekend so she can see them and they can see her. Make it make sense, lady. I'll be honest, every Saturday after I drop them off, I cry all the way home. Oh, I miss them so much. They are my little best mates. Every night after dinner, we will do our chores and do a different activity. Sometimes it's a walk in the woods behind our house, or we bake, or have movie nights, or read books together. I'm quite good with my hands and love making and fixing things, whether it's baking, cooking, DIY, or car repairs. And they have started to take interest too, so we have a couple of projects on the go, like building a kind of Wendy house for them, but it will have some game consoles, a fridge for their drinks and snacks, etc. Plus, we are also building a couple of patrol go-karts from scratch. I want one for them to race at a nearby track when they are done, which they are designing themselves and we are building together. Basically, my life is taken up with them in the week, and then on the weekends, I feel like a lost zombie until it's time to go get them. Then yesterday, I received a short text from her saying she no longer wants to see them. Oh, okay. Just abandon your entire marriage and your children. All they do is ask for me anyway, they don't have fun there, and they basically just get in the way. I'm so sorry our children are interrupting your life. I was absolutely heartbroken for my boys, and I rang her straight away. I'll be honest, I started crying as I felt so bad for them, and she genuinely acted like I was annoying her for wanting to get to the bottom of it. She then said, sounds like you don't want them either and are just trying to pawn them off on the weekends, and hung up on me. I guarantee she just wasn't happy with the weekend thing because she wants to be going out there with those friends. And the weekends are the time to do it. I don't even know how I'm going to tell them this. Do I just say she's canceled for a few weeks and see how it goes? Do I tell them the truth? How do I say it in a way that the kids will understand and it won't absolutely crush them? Then I've got the conflicted, selfish emotion of pure joy that I'll have the whole weekend with them. It's so selfish of me, I know, as they are going to be sad while I'm happy. Has anyone been in a similar situation from my side or the kids' side? How do I handle this? Next update. So as far as her giving up her rights as a parent, it's a lot harder than I thought. Both my lawyer and hers have told me that it's hard to do this in the UK, and neither of them have seen a judge allow it unless there is a physical or sexual chance of harm to the children. However, they have both also said that they've never presented a case like this to a judge where both parties agreed to it fully. They've drafted an agreement where we both agree that my ex will no longer have responsibilities towards my children, including financially. Let's see what happens with that. Just waiting now to get a court date, but they said that can be months away. On to the hardest part, telling my kids. I'll be honest, I haven't. Ooh. The first couple of weeks, I just said mom had canceled again when they asked, and the eldest in particular seemed pretty relieved at this both times. And last weekend, they didn't even ask. It's been over a month now since they've seen her. The eldest has also told me that he doesn't like going there anyways, as all she does is sleep and shout. He also told me the other day he prefers his new house and he just feels more relaxed. I feel terrible, as I was obviously missing signs before that he wasn't fully happy when we were together as a family. At least he's more comfortable now. I had a bit of a wobble last night with my youngest though. He was watching Land Before Time. What a throwback. And then he started saying he misses his mom and then started crying. It was full-blown tears and breaking down, and it was awful to see. While I was holding him, I started crying, but I made sure he couldn't see. I didn't say anything bad about his mom or tell him she doesn't want to see him anymore. I just hugged him and stroked his hair and told him that I will always be there for him and he can always come to me if he's upset, happy, or just wants to be silly, and I'll never push him away. Once they were in bed, I was in pieces, blaming myself for leaving their mom, questioning why I couldn't be stronger and live with it for a few more years until they were adults. It was me who left. It's me who's made them drive up and down the country every weekend, unsettled them, uprooted their lives. At 2 a.m. this morning, I drafted a text to my wife. Oh, you're still calling her your wife now. You were saying soon to be ex. Asking her to get together and to be a mom again. Luckily, I didn't send it. I had about 3 hours of sleep, but felt better this morning. None of her family have been in touch either to try and maintain a relationship with the boys. It's horrible, to be honest, but they are the ones missing out on these 2 amazing kids. One of her cousins messages me so often, but she asks more about me than the kids, so that either feels like ulterior motives or a trap, which I'm not falling into. As for my divorce, my lawyer said it should hopefully be finalized before Christmas of 2024, by the way. Not that it'll make much difference. I don't wear my ring and she has a new 20-year-old boyfriend. Who's surprised? Not the guy she cheated with though. Will be nice though to finally be able to say ex-wife and it be official. All right, next update came 2.5 months after the last one. It's been just over 3 months since she said she doesn't want to see them. Within a month for saying that, she changed her mind and did want to see them. I spoke to my lawyer, who heard from her lawyer, and my lawyer said, since there's nothing official about her giving up her rights, I shouldn't stop her as it will look bad on me. I agreed, but then I said I'm no longer making 2 4-hour round trips every weekend to drop them off. It's up to her to come pick them up. Yeah. My kids are now both constantly crying, saying they don't want to go and that they are scared up there as she's always tired and angry. I'm having to console them constantly and it's breaking my heart. First weekend, no show, no notice. Second weekend, she told me she couldn't make it. Third weekend, some random woman appeared at my door and said my ex-wife sent her to pick the kids up. I tell her to leave and never come back. Ex-wife rings the police and tells them I am kidnapping my kids. Oh, here we go. Here we go, the chaos. Police being the anti-father institution, they turn up and start telling me to take the boys back to their mom. I inform them they haven't seen their mom in months and I'm the primary parent. They don't believe me, but eventually do when I show them the kids' school uniform and that they are enrolled in a local school. Her lawyer now says they want mediation. I end up traveling 2 hours for mediation with my lawyer and it's absolute bollocks. Bollocks. I love when people in UK say that. The mediator is the most biased person to the point even my ex-wife's own lawyer said, "This isn't right and you are being ridiculous. It looks like we've paid you off." After the mediator's idea of compromise was me taking the kids up there myself, staying in a hotel nearby, giving my ex money to entertain the kids, and then being on call to help out if my ex was struggling with them. Huh? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. What happened there? Who is getting paid off? We all walked away with no ideas set in place. I told my ex-wife and her lawyer outside, she or her parents come pick the kids up and that there's no other solution to this. The following weekend, her parents are there to pick the kids up. My boys cried and fought and begged not to go and I couldn't stay strong. I broke down and just hugged them on my driveway for as long as it took them both to calm down and I apologized and said, I don't want this. I want you two forever. I'll see you tomorrow. My ex-father-in-law gave a sorry nod as he led the kids away, and that was it. Later that night, I got a screenshot of a conversation my ex-wife had been having with someone saying that she wants more custody so she can start to claim money from me. I'm gonna get angry. That night, the windows were put through my house, and this was just the start of a campaign that is still going on now. What does that mean? Like they were smashed? And this was just the start of a campaign that is still going on now, which I assume is to make me react and look violent. I've had my car vandalized, windows replaced and then smashed again, online accusations made about me, my business hit with 1-star reviews, constant takeaways and taxis ordered to my house. My parents' house and car have also been targeted. It always happens on Saturday night when my kids are up there. I ring the police every time and I log it and they never care. I've got proof it's her cousins after one of them filmed himself on the street next to mine at 2 a.m. and put it on TikTok. Police don't care. This is my life now. The poor kids have to go up there every weekend against their will, me being constantly threatened. I've had official paperwork from her lawyer saying she's going to be asking for more custody. She didn't even want them. Me having to bite my tongue and hold my temper while me and my family are attacked and harassed. Having to see hundreds of people attacking my character on Facebook and Twitter as my ex tells everyone that I've turned the kids against her. Getting random men ringing me saying they're going to come and stab me for abusing my ex, having people say there's no smoke without fire and believe all women, etc., etc. I hate the way that the situation is starting to make me become a more hateful person. I'm also finding myself to become very untrusting of women, as 95% of the people calling me online are women, and it sounds terrible, but I was watching a show the other day where a woman was talking about her abuse situation, and my first thought was, she's lying to get him in trouble. And then I had to scold myself for victim blaming. This is really messing me up. You try to do everything right and nothing works. All I want is a quiet, safe life for my kids. This is a mess. This is just getting way further than your wife going out and kissing a man that night. That was a very misleading title, sir. Next update, I made an update about 4 weeks ago about all the stuff my ex and her family have been doing. The day after the post, I had enough. I left my boys with my parents and went to see them. When I got there, they invited me in, and over a cup of tea, I showed them every piece of evidence I had. Screenshots, screen records, CCTV, and then the worst screenshots of messages between my ex and 3 of her friends who all betrayed her and sent me screenshots of messages she sent them with plans to make me lose the kids, burn down my business, and even get me killed. Pardon? Then the worst one was a video from her friend's Reolink camera saying she'll tell the police that I'm abusive in all the worst ways possible. What a POS. I said the police aren't interested, but if I ever hear from any of her family ever again, I'll be posting every single bit on social media, every single bit. I told them that she can keep the house and that's it. They rang me that night and apologized and said nothing will happen ever again and that my ex agrees to the divorce, but she can see the kids 1 weekend a month. I agreed. The next day, I rang my solicitor, and between him and hers, they agreed on all the funeral details. And this morning, I got it all back from her. Be a few more months until it's official, but it feels like a weight has been lifted from my shoulders. And we have the final update, which came on December 17th, 2024, just a few weeks ago. It's official. I'm divorced. Got the letter from the courts yesterday. It's actually a lot quicker than expected. They said January, February time, but it all became official yesterday. I celebrated by having McDonald's and watching Christmas movies with my boys, LOL. Wow, what a story. I just thought, oh, okay, she went out and kissed one night and y'all are just gonna deal with it and work on your marriage. Nope, not at all. I knew there was more to the story. I called that from the start. Stay classy out there, stay sassy.